this project is to show SQL injection. Now, to first show SQL injection, the first step is to make the database. Here the database has already been made. We have already made the database, and now to use this SQL commands, we use SQL to make the database, and thus to use the SQL commands, we first have to enter SQL over here. So for the first line over here, the one over here, that actually helps us use SQL commands in the Linux terminal. Now that we have entered it, we can first see all the databases made using the commands show databases. As you can see, there are 4 databases here. The one which has already been made, mini, is the one which we require right now. The command use mini helps us to unlock all the tables in this database. The table name we require is users. So to display all the content, we use the command select star from users. This displays all the content of the table users. Now there are 3 usernames here: Rohit, Rahul and Aankeet. All of that has already been entered by us before. The usernames and passwords have all have been stored in the table. Now, the aim of this project is to explain SQL injection. Now, this code here demonstrates the easiest and simplest method of SQL injection. So, we will write a program that actually accepts username and password from the user and shows whether it's logged in or not logged in. Now, to start the program, we import various packages which are required to make the required graphical user interface, and also used for including the various SQL commands in Python. Now, the code is basically very simple. We select password and username and we get them from the user and compare the same to that in the database. If both of them match, like this line over here, it matches both of them, and if the username and password are correct, it displays the message logged in. However, if it is incorrect, it displays the message invalid username or password. Now that's basically it. So let's try to run the program. Now while running, it shows this screen. So to enter the username and password, let us first check the required usernames and passwords. Okay. बीच में कैंसिल कर सकते हैं ना इतना? Okay, now that we have finally got the 3 screens, so the required username and password match is Rohit and ABC. Rohit and the password ABC. See, it's logged in and also displays the message, which is actually required to check the other stuff which is further required in this program. Now suppose we entered a username and a non-matching password. Suppose we enter Aankeet and we enter a password BCD. It's clearly not logged in and no further message is displayed. Now clearly the username and password thing works. However, the SQL injection, which is basically the simplest form of hacking. So now we enter something else. 1 or 1 equal to 1. Now this actually seems very complicated, but it has a purpose which shall be explained later. Now try to log in. Surprisingly, despite not being a valid username or password, the entire data can be accessed. This is SQL injection in its most basic form. See over here, all the database, the entire database here is accessed. Why? It is of course due to SQL injection. Now let's go back to the code again. Okay, here. Now while entering the 1 or 1 equal to 1, see over here it accepts the username. So when it checks the username over here, it checks both the statements. It's supposed to check both the username and the password, but here there's another statement over here, or 1 equal to 1. So despite the username and password not matching, we still have the statement 1 equal to 1, which makes the entire statement true because it is matched by an OR. So the entire thing, the Python executes the entire program over here. That is SQL injection in its most simplest form. We have demonstrated one of the most simplest and easiest form of SQL injection. When internet was first found, this was a nightmare for most website companies. But now it has a very simple prevention. SQL injection types are many and varied, but each SQL injection type is quite easy to prevent. This is one of the simplest methods of SQL prevention. Now, we just enter the single line for A in username, this line over here. Now, if it finds a single character, apostrophe, in the username, it immediately displays the text, special characters not allowed. This can be further extended to all special characters other than underscore and @ symbol, which is widely used today. Since most special characters like apostrophe and comma are absolutely required to write codes, this simple method actually solves a lot of problems in SQL injection. Now to run this code again. Over here, now we entered the previously problematic code. Okay, first to test it again. Aankeet, and if I remember correctly, the password is 123. Obviously it is logged in and it shows Aankeet123 over here as well. Now the previous problematic code, 1 or 1 equal to 1. I believe that is correct. So let's try again. Special characters not allowed, and absolutely nothing here is displayed. See, we have just protected our database against SQL injection.